anyway, it's 7 o'clock and I want to call a meeting to order. We might be skipping some items that you see on the agenda because of the people who are here. I'm sure you see the agenda and the amount of people that are here. For those of us who are here, and I know the fire department is invited to speak today, it's an important area for us. So meeting in order, and we'll still do pledge of allegiance, and if you mind doing it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings as we gather here today to work in unity towards a better community, state, and nation through our personal commitment to the Lehigh Acres Community Council. We seek you, Lord, and your guidance as leaders and members, so that we be productive in our discussions and with our votes. Our service and goal is to serve you, Lord, our members and our community. Heavenly Father, we just thank you again for everybody here and everyone who could not make it. We recognize all faiths here today, and in my faith as a Christ follower, I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
So this afternoon we have the fire department going to be talking, and I'm not going to wait on anybody. You know, some of you guys came here since 5:59, so I'm going to let you guys talk.
Good evening, everybody. We have a small presentation for you. Thank you for inviting us this evening. I'm Robert DeLallo. I'm the fire chief of Lehigh Acres Fire Control Rescue District. I've been in the district for 28 years and have been so I know a lot about the community, a lot about the fire department and the big changes had throughout the years coming through this.
And Chief, I just want to let him know he is a veteran, so let's give him a hand.
We know that.
Yay! We honor you.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. I appreciate that. So I will whip through most of these slides. I know most of you, but if you have any questions, we're just here to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the district and the fire department. We've had a lot of changes throughout the years. We've had a lot of growth, trying to keep up with that so we can continue to serve the community. This picture here kind of is a neat picture because this ladder truck here is our oldest ladder truck, or our first ladder truck. It was just recently replaced by this ladder truck that we put in service, and it's at the new fire station down on Homestead across from our admin building. If you want to go to the next slide there.
What button do I hit? The play.
Left, right. Oh, sorry. That's right. Yeah.
There we go. Real quick, a lot of people don't realize that this fire department was established in 1963 with volunteers. We went up to a paid fire department in 1976, and we became an ALS transport department in 1981. ALS is Advanced Life Support, and that is our transport service with our ambulances. This is some important information that a lot of people don't realize. We are an independent special district. We're governed by Chapter 189. We cover 142 square miles. When you talk about Lehigh Acres, I believe you're about 98 square miles. We cover 142 square miles. We cover all of this area south of State Road 82, picking up down here on the corkscrew corridor. So also, there are 21 fire departments in Lee County. A lot of people don't realize that. 18 of them are special districts. The other are municipalities. We in Fort Myers Beach are the only fire departments out of the 21 fire departments that have our own ambulance service. That is a huge level of service that we provide to our citizens here in Lehigh Acres. It's super, super important. The difference is the beach runs about 3,000 calls a year. We run over 17,000 calls a year. They have one ambulance, and we have 6 currently in service. Lee County EMS covers the rest of the county. And then when we get super, super busy and our ambulances are transporting back into town, Lee County Ambulance comes in and backs us up because we work under their certificate of public need. And I think it's super important to let you know that out of the 21 fire departments in the county, we are the 3rd busiest. The city of Fort Myers is just a little bit busier than us, and obviously Cape Coral is a little busier because of their population. But we are definitely pushing on Cape Coral as well. Just some of the services that we provide. You know, we do emergency medical services and transport, and fire protection, and training and community emergency preparedness, and also we provide the emergency management, and we do the East Geo Division where we work with the county on statewide emergencies. We actually set up an East Geo Division EOC in our fire department. This is really important. Some people don't realize that we are fully 100% funded by a fire fee assessment. That was passed by the voters in 2020. And a lot of people don't realize that 100% of our funding comes from that fire fee assessment. We do not get any tax dollars from Lee County at all. Every single fire department in Lee County collects ad valorem tax dollars. If we collected ad valorem tax dollars with that massive increase that you've seen over the last couple of years, your fire portion would probably be triple, double, if not triple. So in 2020, we were able to accomplish lowering the fire fee assessments on 9 out of 10 homes. Where the difference was we had at the time, we had 88, it was about 90,000 at the time. It's about 88,000 empty, overgrown, developed lots. That's where the difference was. That's where that went.
I think I have a lot.
Okay, you can go ahead and switch it.
Yeah.
So,
Thought I had the lots laid out for it.
yeah, well, you do. It's in there.
Oh, okay.
So the calls for service, as you can see, 76% of our call volume is EMS. 24% is fire. What a lot of people don't realize is our fire department, we're all cross-trained. We're all fire and EMS. So even though you see a fire engine running down, they may be going to a medical call because the ambulance is out or busy. So you're getting that level of care much quicker with the engine, and then our rescues come in behind and they transport the patient. We ran 17,202 calls for service, and we transported 8,900 and change last year. And this is a critical thing that we talk about is our response times. We try to meet the national standard, NFPA 1710. That's very, very difficult to do. They recommend that we have our first unit on scene within 4 minutes or less, and we have our backup units on scene within 8 minutes or less. That's very, very difficult for 142 square miles. That's the reason we're always presenting to the public that we need more fire stations. And what they try to do is they make a 5-mile circle that we're going to show you in just a second. That represents, when we get to that slide, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but that response time, it's a 5-mile response time, and it has to do with ISO ratings. So the public protection classification, the ISO rating, the main thing that's important is if you look here, we improved to a 310. So there are 5-mile circles around your residence. If your home is within 5 miles anywhere of a fire station, you're a PPC of 3. If you're out of that 5, or out of that 5-mile radius, you're a PPC of 10, and your insurance rates are through the roof. So the goal is to try, and we're actually trying to get to a 2. We're super close to getting to a 2. So anybody that is within 5 miles of a fire station, once we open up station 7, there's 3 components to us getting to an ISO of 2. Lowering response times. So every time we open a fire station, it lowers the response times because we're getting more units out on the road. Water is a huge, huge problem here in Lehigh Acres. So that's why we have our tenders. Katie did a great job putting out a presentation last week of how we're buying equipment to show how we can do drafting. So we've been working with LAMPSID. We've identified specific drafting locations throughout our district, which allows us to pinpoint them for ISO points and ISO ratings. We were so close to a 2 on our last rating a couple years ago. The last component was we don't have our own training facility. We are more than big enough to have our own training facility for the size of our fire department. And so what happens is all of our firefighters have to leave the county, take a truck out of service in order to get that specific training we have to get each year. So we have purchased a property off of Williams and Fifth, and we're planning on putting a training facility there. We're waiting on a clearing permit. Once we get all of that, we're going to reapply for our ISO. We're going to get to an ISO of 2. Anybody that's within a 5-mile radius of the fire station, their insurance rates will go down. And so now we're getting ready to open up Station 7. So anybody that's within that 5-mile radius, their insurance will drastically decrease.
Excuse me, Chief, you have to address the water issue. I'm not familiar with that.
So basically, we don't control the water, okay? And there's a very small area that has fire hydrants. In the summer, when it's raining, the canals are full of water. We're able to draft. But there are certain times of the year in the dry season, this has been a really, really wet winter, so we're doing good so far. But when it gets, because normally we're already fighting brush fires every day. So we've been very fortunate that we haven't had that this year. But the problem is for the ISO and the insurance ratings is they look for fire stations, or they look for fire hydrants. To get to an ISO of 1, which we will never be able to get to, they basically ask for a fire hydrant every 1,000 feet. And that's just, it would be tremendous. So one of the issues that I think that we have here is I know the county goes back and forth. The water systems are privately owned. Can they assess? Can they force assessments? And, this table right here knows the water issue very, very well.
Thank you.
So this is the map that we were talking about. We're actually considered a wildland urban interface. What that just means is that we have wildland that is interfaced with residential areas and people. But if you look at all of the red is vacant, empty lots. And so currently, this is the latest one. We're now, originally I told you we were at about 90,000 empty lots. We're now at 84,000. So as you can see when you drive around, you see all these houses being built. They're very quickly buying up all those lots and building more houses. You can see we were at 38,000 residences. We're now over 40,000 residents. Commercial is growing, but commercial is still slow, and that's a big problem for us, obviously. But that's what it looks like throughout our service area. And as you can see, this is a big unpopulated area. This is the Kingston development that's going to go in here. They're building 8,000 homes in here. Just recently, this was approved for another 2,500 homes in here. The county's going to be trying to increase the Alico Road extension, which is going to connect in Sunshine. Sunshine is going to be widened all the way to State Road 80, which is going to help with our response times as well. So these were the 5-mile radius circles that we were talking about. Our original fire stations were 102 was our very first fire station. Then 101 was built at 10th and Joel, and then 103 was built at Gunnery. In 2007 and 8, we built Station 4. We built Station 5. The best case scenario, and when Lehigh Acres is completely grown out, this is what it would look like. All of these circles should overlap. That means that there's no gaps in where the service is. So we were talking about the ISO ratings. Anybody that is outside of one of these circles is an ISO of 10 versus an ISO of 3. And when we improve to an ISO of 2, so the idea is eventually to get, so like a station could go right there, a station could go right there. If Lehigh Acres was completely built out, and I don't think there's anybody in this room that will ever see that, we would have somewhere between 19 and 23 fire stations. We're currently at 6 fire stations, and our 7th fire station is under construction at Leonard right here. We have land at Grant at State Road 82 with Lennar Homes. They're putting a project right down in here, so we have land with them. The Kingston project that I was telling you, south of State Road 82, they've allotted land for us for a fire station there. This is our new site off of Williams and 5th. Eventually a fire station will go there. It's more important right now for us to build that training facility first so we can get those ISO points and we can get that insurance rating from an ISO of 3 to an ISO of 2. This is another big gap right in here. We're trying to get land in here. Unfortunately, all of the lots that are big enough for us to do it, we have to combine about 6 residential lots, and we can't get the residents to respond to us. We send them out letters. We're trying to purchase their property, and one will respond, but the rest of them won't. So it's very, very difficult to try and get all of them to agree to sell us a lot. We were able to successfully do that all the way up on North Sunshine at 17th for Station 6. We were able to combine 4 big parcels there, and we were able to get the fire station at a very, very affordable rate for the land because it was residential, and then the county immediately changed the use code for us. So that's kind of what's going on with the fire stations right now. I am looking for a location for a fire station in this area. Again, that will be way down the road, but yes, sir.
Who owns or runs the one on Corkscrew there in Estero?
Estero Fire Department.
That's there, okay.
Yes.
And that, when you do the new fire station like 107, when that comes online, does that happen automatically with the insurance, or would those homeowners have to call their insurance?
So they will have to call their insurance. Basically, once it's staffed and we have trucks in there, and one of the ISO requirements is that you have to have a covered garage for your trucks, which we do have. We have a 3-bay there. Then they'll start acknowledging that. So what'll happen is when it first opens, there's a lot of, everybody's calling and they'll be asking us, but our life safety division will be sending out letters and giving them letters to show them to give to their insurance that they are within that 5-mile radius. So this is the site. This is the big park that they've been renovating, and at the end of Village Lakes Boulevard, our site goes here all the way up and all the way around. We have 6 acres there. We have way down the road, a future administrative building would go there. Fire station is going to go right here, and all of the training facilities going to go there. Eventually, what we would like to do, and I did file for a grant under the Resilient Lee program for a community building. That's the one issue that we have here in Lehigh Acres. When we actually do get people to come listen to us, we have nowhere where we can put 200 people. Right, it's always been a big problem. And we would utilize this as a multi-purpose building. Now they're talking about resilience hubs. That's where we use our public relations officer to be able to, in blue skies and gray skies, be able to give out information to the community about what we're doing and where they can get information in the emergencies and different things like that. So eventually that building would be a multi-purpose building. It'd be utilized for the community. It'd be utilized for our meetings. It would be utilized in gray skies for an EOC. It'd be utilized for classrooms and different things like that. So it'd be a great facility. But that's way down the road as well. Some of the biggest challenges that we have in front of us right now, obviously, are the increased costs. Everybody's seeing the inflation, apparatus, supplies, and construction. I'll give you a perfect example. The fire station on Homestead Road, when we contracted for that and we built it, now it's been there for coming up on 2 years. We were $4.2 million for that structure. The exact same building, and we did it this reason so we could save the taxpayers dollars, was we went with a prototype building for all of our fire stations so we wouldn't have to pay for all of the drawings and all of the extra stuff every single time we built a fire station, because we knew this community was growing and we were going to have to continue to build fire stations. The same exact fire station, 6.5 million. 4.2 million to 6.5 million for the exact same building. Our fire engines, we were paying, when I became chief 8 years ago, I paid $580,000 for a piece of apparatus. They're over $1 million just for a piece of apparatus. So in fact, the ladder truck that we just purchased, we paid $1.5 million for that, and that was FDIC, which is a big, huge national conference. We went to that, and they showcased our truck, and we were offered $2 million for the truck, and we paid 1.5 for it. Number one, you have to wait 4 years to get it. We can't get them, so we're now having to order trucks 4 years out just so we can get on a build list. So it's just been a tremendous issue for us, and the costs, and that kind of goes in the availability. It's taking longer. They used to build the fire stations in 8 months. Now it's taking 10 to 12 or even longer to build because they can't get supplies. And obviously, I don't have to tell anybody about the rapidly increasing population. Population in Lehigh Acres is insane. If you have ever tried to leave Lehigh Acres at 6 in the morning or tried to come home at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you understand and you know what we're talking about. State Road 82 is a huge issue for us. They turned it into a racetrack,
Yeah.
and there's no lights to slow them down. So you have, vehicles that are trying to turn left in front of vehicles that are going 100 miles an hour, and it's just a mess. But Lehigh Acres is tremendously growing, and that is good for our community. This is something that I'm super proud of. We created a cadet program. In fact, the last time I was here, before the assessment when I spoke, there was a lot of questions about why do we hire people from the East Coast? Well, we don't hire people from just anywhere. We post the listings, and we give preference on our list for Lehigh residents, but we don't have a lot of Lehigh residents that have the qualifications. There are minimum qualifications to be a firefighter. You have to already be a firefighter 1 and a firefighter 2. Now, East Lee County High School has a vocational fire program, and they get them through Fire 1. And then Cape Coral, Ida Baker also has one, and then South has one. So there are 3 schools within the county that do that firefighter level 1. But once they get out of that and they graduate high school, then they have to go to firefighter 2 at the local fire academy, and they also have to go to EMT school. That's bare bones minimum just to get hired. So we created the Fire Cadet program, where we bring in kids that are local in the area that are getting interested, and they're not sure exactly what they might want to do, but maybe they're interested in firefighting. So between the ages of 13 and 20, once a week, our employees, we have some cadet advisors, they bring them in, we get them bunker gear, we do PT, strength training with them, hose evolutions, we teach them all about fire service. Well, I'm very proud to say that we have successfully hired 4 of those cadets already. And that has been a huge success for us. So these are 19-year-old kids that we have taken off the street, right, here locally, and now they have jobs working in our community.
How long have you been doing that program?
Well, we started right before COVID, and we had to shut it down. And then once we released after COVID, we were able to go full blown. And on top of it, we have sponsored 2 more of our cadets who are currently in fire school. So those 2 cadets, once they complete fire school, they'll get hired as well, bringing us to 6. And when we hire for Station 7, we have 1 cadet that's ready to go. So that'll bring us to 7. So huge program, very successful. And last, if you don't follow us, Katie does a phenomenal job at keeping everybody in the know on all of our social media sites and platforms. And as you know, we come out, we do safety presentations, public events, and community meetings. So if you are not following us on social media, please do so, because Katie puts out incredible stuff. And I'm open to any questions.
I want to thank you so much for what you have. Oh, go ahead.
So back when you were talking about funding, and I think I missed something. The people that have vacant lots that are overgrown and really a mess, are they gonna be assessed fire?
They are assessed
Yeah.
fire fee.
They are now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so they used to be assessed a very tiny fee. It was like 12, then it went to $25 at one time. And yet they're overgrown, and we have lots of brush fires, and they create a big liability, especially to homeowners next to them. That was the big increase in our funding. The taxpayers that own homes and live in homes, their 9 out of 10 rooftops decreased. If you had one of the bigger, more valuable properties in Lehigh, you went up a little bit. But I can honestly tell you, and I think anybody that owns a home in Lehigh remembers that time, ad valorem taxes, the fire portion was much higher, and that has gone down. And if we went back to ad valorem taxes right now, like every other fire department is, you would double, if not triple. You really would. The empty lots went up tremendously. And so they're now paying their fair share. So the way our assessment,
Until I combine property.
right, that's correct. And I don't know if you were here when we did the exemptions on adjoining lots. I don't know if you were. That's no longer a program. But when we first did the assessment, if you had applied for it, if you had a lot that was touching your property, you could have got an assessment, or I'm sorry, an exemption. The way to do that now is to join them, if that's was something that you wanted to do. But yeah, that was tremendous for us. And what that has allowed us to do is we're trying, as long as we continue with the growth. So everybody, every piece of land in Lehigh Acres pays exactly the same dollar amount. And then everybody pays approximately $1 and change for per 1,000 improved value. So if you put a fence on it, that's an improved value. If you put, a house or a structure, that's improved value.
Real quick, were you guys, do you guys go Buckingham and Neal? Because on Wednesday, that was my general manager got hit on. He's still in ICU.
We do run calls up in that area.
Yeah, well, whoever ran it, they were there like lightning fast. Yeah, they were amazing.
So Tice Fire Department has,
Yeah. Either one.
Either one.
Yeah.
They all got there amazingly fast, whoever it was, and there was a just really good testimony from David. I'll get it written up, figure it out, but just at how professional everybody was and how friendly everybody is.
I could look at, if I had the address, I could look at it, but that's Tice Fire Department. They're a basic life support 2-person engine, where we're an advanced life support 3-person engine. We have paramedics on our engines. And then we do the transport with the paramedics. Lee County EMS backs them up. So it's possible it could have been Tice and EMS, but most likely we do. That's another thing. We have what's called mutual aid with all of the fire departments in the county and closest unit response. So if we were closest to that call, we ran it, even if it wasn't our.
Exactly, Neil and.
When you say that we're the third busiest compared to Fort Myers and the Cape,
Yes.
and we had, I forget what it was, roughly 75% EMS and 25% is fires. How does that compare to like the Cape and the?
All the fire departments are really similar, between 72 and 80% fire EMS. Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Wheeler Estates?
Yes, sir, I am very
You guys
familiar.
covering that? Is there any kind of agreement or anything?
No, sir, no.
Because the only way to get there is
Through Lehigh Acres. So the story behind that is, we used to have a closest unit response with Hendry County. But Hendry County is not keeping up with the growth. They're not putting more fire stations. They're not putting more EMS units, and they're creating more of a burden on the taxpayers of Lehigh Acres. So our Board of Commissioners did not renew the mutual aid agreement with Wheeler Road. We went to Wheeler Road. Our attorney and the county attorney for Hendry County tried to negotiate that Wheeler Road Estates would pay the same fees that our Lehigh Acres citizens were paying, and then we would provide that level of service, but we weren't going to continue on a closest unit response and run all of their calls for free. They denied it.
No.
So they said no. So our board said, then we're not going to cover your calls. I will tell you that we also are part of what's Region 6, which is a state emergency response team. We do not refuse to go to any call. If we are dispatched, we go to the call because we can't take the liability of not responding to an emergency call. But technically, we do not have a mutual aid agreement or closest unit response with Wheeler Road. I have had conversations with the chief of Hendry County, the chief of LaBelle, the county manager of Hendry County, and have explained it. You need to build fire stations in your community. We have an amazing network of fire departments in Lee County that work together, and we do closest unit response. But we reciprocate, and we're getting nothing from Hendry County. They say they'll respond here, but they don't have the units to respond to their own calls. How are they going to respond to ours? So it is a challenge.
There was a northern part of Buckingham that was drained back on the map. That was interesting to me because there was nothing else.
I'll show you what that is.
This one is easier for me to
So-
do than the other.
It's this area right here. That is our district for taxing purposes or fire fee assessment. And the library, the high school, and the middle school is not. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you, the reason I haven't fought it or legislatively tried to get it changed is I would be training I would be trading revenue with all of these houses right here for county properties that we get no revenue because they're exempt. So that's the only reason I've
Yeah.
never pursued it.
You're the closest one and you're probably gonna respond to an incident at the library anyways, all right?
You
We,
respond.
we run every single call there,
Respond regarding.
every single one. Yep.
Chief, can you point out where 82 is on that thing?
This is State Road 82 right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant 80.
80 is all the way up out of the picture.
Top of TV.
We used to have a section about this wide. And Matt Caldwell, back when he was a state rep, he took that away from us. But we used to go all the way to the river. North on Sunshine. Any other
He gave
questions?
that to Fort Myers.
Fort Myers or
No,
Elva?
I'm just saying, he gave that to Fort Myers.
He gave it to Fort Myers?
I'm just telling.
He gave it to Alva.
I'll.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Elva makes sense. Okay, yep, that's out.
It does not make sense because
Well, I mean, in general. Actually.
a large portion of the top right corner is Elva address, but it's all part of Lehigh. So a lot of those residents don't realize that when they're getting sold.
And again, there's a lot of talks with fire department consolidation and all. That's a whole different topic that I'm not going to get into. What I can tell you is I promise you, the taxpayers of Lehigh Acres by far, and I'm honestly, have the best fire department and the
Amen.
best level of service in all of Lee County
Sure.
because we're cross-trained fire rescue. And because you have your own ambulance service and you're not relying on Lee County ambulance service, we work together seamlessly. And that is a level of service. If right now we no longer provided ambulance service, Lee County would have to come in and service it. And you would probably get 3 rescues, maybe 4 rescues. We currently have 6. And when we open Station 7, initially the soft opening will be with a truck. And then once we get up to the next staffing level, then we'll add an ambulance there as well.
Where are you with getting 82 lights? I know you were sitting on some kind of committee or something, getting lights on 82.
I have nothing to do
You
with
have
that.
no
There's
idea
a-
that you're not going anything?
There's a DOT meeting coming up at some point in time discussing traffic lights on 82.
That raceway needs to.
I haven't gotten details on that yet, but it's been
It needs to be.
talk of that
public.
meeting.
I'm confident.
Somebody
If you hear of it before I do, let me know because I will go there and speak and
There's
I'll
a-
even run the data on the calls that we're
One of the
having.
members of the DOT reached out to the ARB group.
We have fatalities on
But
State
I'm
Road 82 all the
confident,
time.
with this comment, I'm confident, so that you know, SR 82 was not on the radar for 10 years out, meaning that it was not gonna be built until 2028. So, but we have got it in
Yeah.
2018, 19, 20. So that's something that you need to know, and the state has been hard pressed. You have to have the right type of representative at the legislature's level to push things like that, because that's a state road. However, we might be able to get something done because that road has been built out.
Sunshine is not gonna be done until the extension comes up. Then the light will go there. Actually, I think it's gonna be a diverging diamond interchange.
Yes, and they're
intersection.
pushing that. They're pushing that project. They're putting it at the top of the priority list.
Yeah, because that's the.
It's coming. It's coming.
Alabama.
All the high-end people are involved in it, all the areas that are high-end, so they're pushing it forward. And I love that. I want to compliment you guys in trying to obtaining some of those land that are vacant and are trying to get it vacant. That one where it's gonna be 7, where the training facility and the community type thing.
This one here.
109, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
I am telling you, that will be a great asset for Lehigh, and plus, not only it's an asset, the build out that you guys are doing, I'm I follow these things, I think Lehigh is doing phenomenal with you guys and the assessments that we have to pay, contrary to what some people think. Even me at one time, at one stage, when you had first come, you'd see me at probably every board meeting, and I would buy and say certain things. I used to be a pain, I still can be a pain, but pain for the right reasons. It's paying for the right reasons, even at county level. However, those stations that you're talking about, Lehigh needs it.
My last
And
question was-
people within, and I'm gonna ask, these folks here would be willing, especially with their media person, they would be willing to come and possibly keep like a meeting, presentation with you guys, because without that, look who we're talking to. A few of us who, some of us know, some of us don't know, but reaching out to the bigger audience and doing these presentations will really change people's mindset as to why and what you're doing it for. So I just want to say, make those long.
This will be on
comments.
YouTube too, and I can snip it and we can potentially just share your portion of it too.
Sure.
How often do you have all 6 units like out heading to Fort Myers, and you have to have the Lee County EMS come in to back you up? How often does that happen?
So 62% of our transports currently are leaving Lehigh Acres to go to the Lee Health System hospitals outside of Lehigh Acres. And that is because we have a countywide transport protocol. And that is that we must take the patient to the closest appropriate facility. So if Lehigh Regional is not the closest appropriate facility, we have to take the patient to the closest facility. So if they're having a cardiac issue, or they're a trauma, or they're orthopedic, or they're OB, we have to take them to the most appropriate facility for a couple reasons. Number one, we're doing the patient an injustice if we just take them here to Lehigh Regional and they get an ambulance bill from us and an ER bill from Lehigh Regional, and then they have to transfer them back out again, and they get another ambulance bill and another ER bill. So it's in the best interest to take the patient to the proper facility. Lehigh Acres absolutely is in drastic need for another hospital that has specialized care.
Right.
And I will tell you that when we originally bought our land on Homestead Road, it was a package deal. Where the fire station currently is, we were going to build our training facility there, and we were going to build our administration and EOC there. As the road got widened and we sat on that land got very, very valuable, and we saw a much bigger need for commercial versus fire department properties. So we started looking for a less attractive and more remote location for that training facility. We sold all of that land to Lee Health, and Lee Health has plans. I don't know what the plans are, but Lee Health has plans. So
with 62%.
So let me back to your question. I apologize. So 62% go out. The question was how often are all 6 of our ambulances out of the district? That's rare that all 6 of them are out of the district at the same time, but it's not uncommon that all 6 are busy at the same time and 3 or 4 are out of the district at the same time. So that's when Lee County EMS comes in. So if you see the orange and white ambulances, you know that we're busy because they're here because we're busy.
The positive thing to remember too is our engines can provide you all the same care that our rescue can.
Yeah.
The only thing they're not going to do is package you up and drive you to the hospital. So you're getting that, that care to stabilize you, the same that you would get from the rescue.
And you would not get that same level of care in Alva, Tice, North Fort Myers, Shores, any one of those, because they're not advanced life support.
Like qualifications that they have designated.
One quick one back on your training facility. Once that's established, is that going to be the only one in the county?
Oh no, there's several in the county.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
This county is massive. And so all of the fire districts are trying to do the same thing. And a big component to that insurance rating is training. And it's very, very difficult for the departments to get that training. And there's requirements. I mean, it has to be a minimum of 2 acres. It has to have a 4-story tower. And you have to do what's called facility training. So our fire department is big enough to be standalone. Like I said, I started talking about consolidation. My personal feeling is we do not need to consolidate with any other fire departments. We're big enough to be our own fire department, in this area at some time when there's incorporation, which at some point I could see it happening. That's when fire departments then decide, are they going to join in the incorporation? I know that when incorporation starts, you start off with a certain level of services, and then you start to add more services. So police department, fire department, different things like that. But you got to start looking first.
No, what I was getting at goes, it was but the only one in the county, other municipalities within the county could come get their training.
But then have the same exact problem that we're having. They're taking all of their firefighters and their apparatus out of their taxpayers' district to go somewhere else and get the training, and then they're not available for call. Where we're putting our location, if you look, it's dead center in Lehigh Acres. That means that all of these stations, 2 at a time, can come and do company training and still be available to run calls throughout the district. And we're able to keep.
Could Alva come and use ours instead of Alva going to
Yes.
wherever they go to?
We
now?
do. It's called co-op training, but we do cooperative training. So we could bring all the other smaller departments into ours.
Another benefit with the big community room, if, we could host like a speaker or like the training that's not necessarily using the tower or firefighting. And a lot of times, if it's one where they're charging per person for that training, if we're hosting it, they'll give us like 8 seats for free because we have all the other districts paying for their people to come in. So that's a huge benefit for us as well.
And part of the component of our training facility is we're going to have what's called a dry evolution tower. It's 4 stories where they do clean, because right now the cancer in the fire service has just gotten insane. So we don't want to train where we burn. So in order, you have to do live fire training. So we're going to have what's called a flashover simulator, class A burn building, and then we're going to have a clean building. And in between that, we're going to do a giant pavilion where the trucks can go under and train in the shade. But we're also going to be able to utilize that pavilion for community functions, for fire prevention days. And so we're going to bring people. That site is going to be a community location.
Park there.
Yeah, the park is there. It's going to be a great area. It's a perfect location. Anything else?
No, you guys are the best.
So again, any questions, you can always reach out to Katie, or you can reach out to me. And but please follow us on social media if you're not. Tell all of your friends.
And we do have in the works, I understand that there's people that do not want social media. This is the best I have to work with right now, is every platform I can think of. We do have an app in development. Apple is giving us a hard time about putting it on their app store. They just take forever. The chief has given his blood and a hair, and it's crazy. But as soon as Apple clears us, we're already cleared to put it on Google's platform. You'll be able to download the app, and that is where I will actually start doing all of our emergency notifications, because you won't have to have social media. You can just download that app, and you know how you get notifications for a text message or something. If we have a brush fire and I need to tell you to leave, or just any kind of, there's smoke in the area, it's okay, that kind of thing.
Kind of like an Amber Alert.
It'll all go out, yeah, except it won't scream at you unless you're. I don't mind. But it'll be a big benefit, because right now you just have Alert Lee to sign up for, but they're only going to put out a notification if it's a major, we're really evacuating people. This could be something more simple, like, hey, we have a 5-acre fire going right now. If you're in that area, you might want to turn the sprinklers on. You might want to leave, that kind of thing. So that will be actually our primary platform. So especially with all the change, actually Twitter's not Twitter anymore. I need to change that.
So it's not a Google app yet?
No, because I don't want to confuse people by saying it's on one platform and not the other. So it's supposed to be any day. It was supposed to be January 1st, but here we are. So it's coming, and I think that'll be a big benefit for community notification, even for public events, to put it out, because that's something we struggle. I mean, you guys, you said you tell people that there's a meeting, and it's just hard here. So.
And with that note, I want to thank the chief, and thank you, our media specialist. Actually, we did a phenomenal job last week, and it was aired on all the channels. I saw it at least on 2 channels of the new system that they've been talking about, the locations of where they're gonna have it, and how helpful it will be. this information that you guys are presenting, I wish there are more people, like I said earlier. I'm hoping that, look, if there's a way for us to get groups of folks, different locations, and talk with them, even in the homeowners association community. These are people who need to be aware. Those are not only our voters, they're the ones who might be able to spread the little information. The VFW is a good one. The chamber is a good one. I know the chamber only wants to meet the business people and go eat, but I just want to let you know, in the
They don't
senior
need to come
center,
anymore.
the senior center no longer is the kind of senior center that we used to have, whereby they have, now it's run by the Parks and Rec, so they don't have like a gathering whereby they can say, okay, one day we'll have a meeting of such, so we have the people who wants the information, and we'll be extremely thankful for what you're presented. I mean,
I'm always willing. The Rotary invites me, so I go there like once a quarter.
yeah, but they
you know.
invite and then you gotta go eat lunch. I mean,
They eat lunch a lot. They
I know.
Even
But
around the
thank
shoot
you.
schedule.
Thank you very much for having
thank
me.
you so much.
Thank you.
I want to ask, if like how you're here today, maybe the same presentation that they give, maybe it's a little more notary type, notarized. That if you get a copy of that and you're able to show it and say, hey, let's invite, and just invite one.
So
But
this
having the
presentation is on our YouTube channel as well,
having the
narrated.
chief to come, stuff like this,
It's
is
long.
really important. Thank
Give
you
me
all very,
information, it gives me information.
thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
We wish there were more people there. And you notice we don't serve dinner.
Yeah. Okay, we don't need it all.
I figure you guys gotta stay fit. All right, folks, that was a really superb presentation, and we have a person that is very familiar here with them also. So
Yeah. Nice try.
so we'll move on. On approval of January of the minutes, did you guys receive that? Everybody did? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion. We have a second. All in favor? All right, any discussion on the minutes? No? Okay. So the treasurer's report, I know it came out, our good treasurer here had just done something, and I know it was recently said because Derek was waiting for the treasurer's report. So that the new treasurer, we had gone to the bank and we have changed or adjusted who needs to be on there for now. So everybody probably saw the
Can you just
treasurer's.
go over what the,
Yeah,
what the change was in the last 2 months or whatever it was?
Sure, so, the last treasury report was on 11/24, and that was with, Robert Schultz. And the balance was $1,811.99. Then for the month of January, we're just transitioning, so we didn't do anything with the treasurer then. But I can report to you that nothing changed in that month. And the ending balance for up until 11/30/23 was the same, $1,811.99. For what I am reporting this month, we did have a withdrawal to pay personal taxes to reinstate
yeah.
this organization. That was $297.50. So right now our total is $1,513.06.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
No problem. While we're on the treasurer's report, there was some signs that were being made, to alert people where to come for the community meeting. I think was 100 and, Derek, how much was it?
I'd have to find the receipts to give you.
It was 100 and something dollars, and because that sign was done like 2-3 months or 4 months ago, I am gonna ask that we pay those people. I think it was Unite Lehigh that did that sign. So I'm gonna ask that amount to be, once it's come to you, just try to pay off it, so we will have an additional I think it's $150 or something dollars.
Yeah, I'll check my receipts. and
Yes.
get to you.
So we have banners that say.
It's not banners, it's some signs that were made.
I hit the one sign outside.
There's
Oh,
one
okay.
there's.
Lehigh Acres community meeting.
Free there.
Okay.
So that we could reestablish where.
Same size.
Yeah, I got like 6 of those. I also purchased like the projector and screen and that,
Yes.
but I'm not gonna charge that because I don't think I'm gonna use it
Yeah,
anymore
project
anyways.
and screen we needed.
I like
So
the sight of this
I'm
better.
just throwing it out here
Makes
so
it
that
a lot easier.
when it comes up, you will know what it is, and we'll get receipts for it. All right, we had sworn in most, if not all, the members who were not sworn in the last time. Everybody, okay, we're good?
You mean directors?
Yeah, we did.
I don't think, if you want to, I don't think, or you're a director?
I don't, not that I know. I guess I'm just a number.
No, I think are we here?
No, because I could
Oh,
not.
yes, that's right.
I have
Yes.
my American Legion meeting the second and third Monday of the month, and you met the second Monday last time, and I was unable to be at both places at one
Okay,
time.
we can probably.
But normally you do the first.
Yeah, we'll do that last tonight, if that's okay, with how many of us? It's only one person,
Just Vicky, I think.
it's just you, so we'll do it at last tonight, if you don't mind.
I'll pull up the list.
The list of directors? Just trying to pull up the list of directors.
I don't think I see anybody here except tonight.
I know that was Bob here last time. Bob was not here.
No, he also said tonight he's sick
Yeah,
tonight,
he is
so.
sick.
Yeah, they
I
did.
can vouch for that. He is very sick.
So we'll do whoever need to be sworn in next time. We'll do yours tonight and Peter.
So
Ah.
they're directors.
No, she's on
No,
there.
she's not a director.
Is she on there?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to find the list that I have.
That's fine.
If you need me, if you need directors, I'd be willing to help out wherever I can, but I don't believe I was like dominating.
No, I'm not. Okay. So if we don't need to, we don't. Fine. So we had talked about community fundraising and outreach the last time. We didn't, or that's a new business, and we have not done any of that. So I don't know that we have people who are willing to talk about any kind of community outreach tonight.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so we'll move on. Sidewalk committee last time.
I know that we're having that Brews and Blues next Saturday, the 10th, coming up.
It's coming Saturday.
Oh, yeah, it's on the 10th.
What is that?
It's over at Veterans Park. I think we have it every year.
Oh, I think I saw it on social media.
Yeah.
Blues
It's like
and
2 to 11 or 2 to 10, see the afternoon. But I know that,
We're thinking of having a table there. Is that what you're saying?
that's what I'm thinking, just it's an opportunity that you're gonna have, it's very crowded.
It's a lot of people goes to those.
I would love to be a part of that, but I'll be in Miami for the day. I'm sorry. If I was here, I definitely would sit at. the
I
table.
know, you have
Vicky
a
Rupper and Ashley.
sign to say who we are, right?
Ashley.
That would be
Yeah.
great from like promotion of our parcel.
Okay, so we
And I know.
we can send message across with each other to see if anybody wants to.
Yeah.
And we can put up a table.
I will be there with a table for Unite Lehigh.
Okay,
Oh, you will?
Maybe you could put 2 tables, one for the council, and then just kind of run back and forth and do both. I'm kidding.
Or we could do it right next to each other, and we just need something that
I'm kidding.
says community
Says
council.
something.
We don't have it. I don't know if we have anything that says community council.
Well, the sign that you bought, you can't move that around, or, I don't even know.
The sign is just says Lehigh Acres community meeting with an arrow.
Oh, okay.
So we can hash that. I know this is not off topic because it's, I just want to mention tomorrow. I'm skipping that one. Tomorrow there is a health fair up at the park from, I think it starts at 10 and it ends at 2 at Veterans Park. It's run by the Parks and Rec and the county. Anybody is aware of that?
I am aware of that.
Okay.
But I have to get, I have
Pass-
another meeting
yeah.
with him and I can.
Just pass the word to people, that's, that'll be good for us. Okay, the sidewalk committee.
I have. So the sidewalk committee hasn't officially met yet, but I have if you guys would like to join us, I think so far it's Mohammed and Jessica on the committee with me. Is anyone else that would like to be on the committee as well? Johnny?
I can help out if you need more members too.
It's just we don't really do anything, we're just gonna get together and talk about stuff, right?
And what they're able to do and what some of us might be able to do is go up to the counties, at the county advisory board and put some of our information. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where'd my mouse go? This is the Williams project that we did. Me and another member of the community started this project. Ashley, she lives up on Williams and 12th-ish. So that we presented this one November, and they voted to accept it, I think, last meeting. This is just kind of how it goes. We go to the BPAC meeting, meets every third Wednesday. So this coming one is February 21st at 3 p.m. at the permitting building downtown. You just kind of give them a location, how long is this going to be, what is the current situation of the road. If this one was designated as a major collector, speed limit on it. Are there bus stations? If there's bus stops, if it's near the bus terminal, if it's near schools and parks, that all weighs into it and gets it more points when they're figuring out which ones are more priority. So this is just some other information that was along this. So it's basically to go from the Williams Park area here up to 12th Street up here is where it would go to. So that one's already been done. So the one I'm presenting this coming month is the county is broken into different impact fee zones. And most of Lehigh, north of 82, is all the northeast impact zone. And there's basically no projects in this southeast impact zone. The list of projects in the northeast zone is probably 50. I'm thinking the southeast project in zone, there's 3. So that's why I specifically looked in the southeast area for something to present. So I found these 2 areas in this area. This is the Dollar General by Alabama. So this is that whole Blackstone area. There's a future commercial industrial development coming in here. So my one proposal comes along and basically just follows this bridge here, and then there's another one that follows this in the middle in here. So that is that one coming around, and then the 2 different options for inside here. So that's just going to go to the next meeting coming up and just basically give them this slideshow, tell them a little bit about it. There's no bus stops, there's no schools anywhere near this, so it's probably not going to get very many points, but because there's no other projects in this zone, it may get done, actually.
So, where are you publicizing the fact that you've gotten a sidewalk or any of this that you just said? Is it public? No, like, did we put it out somewhere for people to see?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Like the people in this neighborhood could come to the meeting and support it. I don't know if it
But I mean,
changes anything.
like, people, I'm pretty sure all feel like we should have sidewalks, right? So no one
Yes, I know.
knows anybody, nobody knows anything's doing anything about it. And whereas you've just told me these two things, so we need to like summarize what you said in a running document with words and paragraphs and your images and say, hi, I'm Derek and I'm this, and here's what we did and me and this lady and like just that. And then we put it in the paper and then we cycle it out on social media. So you
But not the news report.
no, you know what? And no, we don't have any. Like, who do you want me to call? Really? Like, who can I call to help you with that? I could have called like Dave Dorsey. I just, we were talking about a lot, but like, we just have to do it, Derek.
I can send this out to my contacts at Fox 4 and NBC and.
Well, yeah, those two. Maybe they could write it up, and then if it was on, then we could take it off the internet, and then we could run it to paper. But I would even be happy if you talked into this phone or your own phone and then forward me the voice recording and I will transcribe it down.
Did you know?
And we'll have an article. What?
I hate talking.
But what she's saying makes a lot of sense.
I know,
But
he's trying to get me to be a
It's just like.
voice of the paper.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll put it right here and I won't even put your name on it if you don't want. You and James Kennedy, you guys could just be anonymous. I'll just put it here and we'll just talk. Want to have coffee?
Makes sense. Or you can, if you get the explanation, you can talk, because if you're,
No, I can't talk. I can't explain what he just said. But
I,
But literally, he's the best at it, and he
He's-
likes to pretend he's not. So we're gonna like, but it's okay. You're just gonna talk into this. It's not extra work. You just did it right there. I should have put this on the table.
Should have recorded them.
I should have recorded him.
This will be on YouTube.
So.
Oh, excellent. Done. And then I'm pulling it, sending it to you. We're gonna fluff it, and it's going in the paper.
I can handle that. As long as I don't have to repeat what Brad just said.
So this sidewalk committee, is that under this committee or is it just your own thing?
Our sidewalk
this
committee
is, this is gonna be us. That proposal that Derek is talking about is gonna go to the DPAC.
we are gonna start creating more of these.
Okay.
So far, this is just a we, because we didn't have a we.
Sidewalk.
Now we have a we, and we can start coming up with more ideas.
Yeah.
To take to the county.
Got it.
But it's not part of, we get that, we get high acres community council, separate.
We're doing this because Derek came up with this. We're doing this because,
It
we
will
have
be.
people.
So we could actually put it in on our
Website.
Facebook.
Yeah. And we have,
That's more exposure.
When I email with the
Yeah,
county,
definitely.
the county, Lehigh Community Council is endorsing these
That's what
projects.
we need.
Okay, so like, we're saying we wanna go to Veterans Park, that would be awesome to have them. Because you have all these people coming in, look, well, what are you guys doing? Look, this is what we're. trying to
We're
do."
getting sidewalks. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I mean, if you say sidewalks, I can ride a
Holy cow,
bicycle there.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, because some people take that and run, oh, we're getting ready, they're like,
But Derek,
no.
isn't sidewalks one of the things in terms of the powers you need under Lamson to go to?
no, sidewalks is not one of them. They are trying, that they have to get that into a vote to have that.
Yes.
And that is not,
Lamson has the ability to have a sidewalk power after a referendum. But my understanding is that with this current bill that's moving forward, Lamson may not have a power of becoming a municipality at all if this current bill. goes
yeah,
forward.
they're trying really hard.
Because they're trying to take it away already because they got a little scared? Or what's going on?
The companies not,
There's a
you got
bill.
commissioners who are not willing to, who are not willing to give powers to a special district that wants to now, that was a Caldwell business at one time. Mike Caldwell, I know him personally. I taught him in high school. Kid became a good kid and then ran and then started doing things behind Lehigh's back. I'm just telling you. This is plain talk, But he did give Lamson some notary type thing to say, okay, you can have this, you can have that. But when we found out, when this council found out that, look, this is what's happening legislatively, this council, this is one of the members who did a long letter when they were meeting legislatively to the senators, to the governor, to the state, to the representatives. I went down with two other people. And we said, we weren't aware of this. The Lehigh Acres people don't know about this. Why would Lampstead get it? That time was the water district. And you know what? They changed everything. They changed what they were supposed to and the power. This is why now, before they have the powers, it's got to get the votes of the people in Lehigh.
Okay, what he said, I'm sorry, makes no sense to me whatsoever. So what we have to do is to try to, I know, I'm sorry. I just want to say nothing against you. I'm trying to
It's fine.
say, like, what you said does not make sense. It's like speaking another language. So
In
I'm
order
missing
for-
a bunch of back information.
In order for Lampstead to gain the powers of street lighting, sidewalks, sewer and water, there's a whole bunch of different powers that they could get. Could have to go to referendum,
Right,
and they'd have to they'd have to do a study first
right,
on that powers, and then it would go to a vote. It had been that if they got 5 powers,
Right.
that Lampstead could pursue becoming a municipality and pursue incorporation themselves.
right.
That may be off the table with this current bill that's going through the House and through the Senate that could be signed this coming
Okay,
in a couple months here or whatever.
The session.
That would eliminate that ability.
okay, so how did that happen? I mean, Matt Caldwell showed up at the.
You just heard what I said and you said you didn't understand.
No.
So I just want to tell you
that-
that's what happened.
No, okay, but that whole part, now, how did that happen that we have, like, Matt showed up at that, meeting?
I don't know if that was
and
Matt or
he's the
not, but
one-
that's-
No, I was there. He showed up, he told 60 people in a room that existed, that we could get 2 more powers and that we could, everything you said. So then from there, we had an envoy from, Scott's office come down here, call a meeting at Lampstead, pull Butch in and say, no city for you guys. Incorporation is the way you have to go. So that's the last I heard. And so now then you're telling me that something is turned around and they're trying to go, wait a minute, we don't want them to get any of that? And we want
Special
them- we want-
districts no longer have the ability to pursue municipality and incorporation.
throughout the state of Florida.
No,
Well, if this bill is signed, yes.
no, something that's got to be understood. This special district that we have here, and I'm just even going to talk about, I'm going to throw in the fire district also. They have to have the county commissioners wanting to give some of that power to them. Because these things are
And they don't want to do that.
they're in between.
They don't want to give.
The
them that
county commissioners, unless the county commissioners say to Lampstead, you can have planning and zoning, you're never gonna do it. They're not gonna get it. They won't even put it to the vote because it's our dollars that's gonna have to go back in to say, put it to the vote, for themselves. Same with they have the special district in the water district, that's them. That they have control of that right now. But the other entities that Matt had say legislatively they have, now it's got to go to a vote for people. I'm saying the same thing that I did, but you didn't understand it. So
Either way, the only way to incorporation is through the people doing it themselves. It's no longer a viable option for the special district to pursue incorporation.
If they pass,
If that-
whatever.
What are the odds, in your opinion, do you think that would pass? Or-
Likely being passed.
Oh,
So we need to know how that happened and what's going on behind.
There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's all incorporated in that bill. It's not just that, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
it involves the county
that's
commissioners, it involves representatives.
Literally what we need to get at, because pitchforks and torches aren't doing it. And we need to get at what is going on that level and try to look at it.
Basically, it's losing some of their people's back pocket because they're trying to get these bills and somebody that was pushing for it. He wanted because he thought he was going to be, who I'm
There we
talking
go.
about.
I know.
He thought he was going to be the first, he wanted to be the first mayor to do that.
It affects the
Him and-
fire district even.
Him and Matt were like this and they were pushing it. And there's a couple of representatives out there that are trying to push things and that's what some of the bills that's affected the fire districts went. And now that's when these politicians are sitting, it doesn't affect me because I'm a fire commissioner.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me because they took it out. But they were going, these politicians were sitting there trying to go, They say, now you have to sit there and put down on the forms, the Form 6, exactly what you make and what you have of value in your
Right,
house.
true.
Which everybody I talk to says is stupid, because what you were doing, you put it out there, everybody can see it. Now, everybody knows what I got a value in my house. Now, the crooks can try to sit there and say, wow, you got all that in your house, I can go break into it. Well, try to break into my house, right? Just hope I'm not there. Because every room's got a gun. And as soon as you walk through that door. But that's what they were trying to do. And what they were doing is all throughout the state, a lot of municipal leaders are dropping out. Because they don't want that personal information out there, because
Yeah, I just read
Yeah.
about that, yep.
it's nobody's business. Why am I gonna give a crook, tell them what my wife has for jewelry, right? What I got for money, what I got for, they're gonna come break into my house.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I understand,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I understand
Yeah,
that,
I just. read
I
that.
understand that concept good. This is why I was involved in it. This is why I said what I said.
Yeah.
One of the reasons people like me are in several of these organizations, and I don't have to be, I'm retired 3 times, 4 times maybe. It's
You're going
because
on
of,
6.
it affects the people here in Lehigh. And whether or not people like it or not, you know, same thing. We build out the infrastructure, we try to get the infrastructure. Same with street lighting. One person might not like it, might not like a light in front of their house, but it affects the kids that have to walk in the dark.
Right.
And we're building out, you know, I'm not worried about the 1 person or 2 person or the 3rd person coming after me. I'm never worried.
Yeah.
Having served in the service and teaching and being in this community, I care about what goes on. I don't care about if you give me a penny, because I don't want it. I don't need it. You know, I can food, shelter myself. Anyway, so the sidewalk committee, that's why, you know, that's a critical infrastructure for us. You know, and yes, we'll, you know, Derek has come up with a superb idea. We used to have a guy named Willow. He used to live down on Willard. He used to live down by Williams. He was one of those people who were being on the county sidewalk committee. We do have a person here in Lehigh, and I'm gonna tell you, you know, he runs the Kiwanis. He doesn't, you don't see him.
Damon.
You don't see him anywhere in any audience, you know, and he runs your show.
I'm trying to get officially onto that committee too.
On the county, you know. We got a guy in Parks and Recs, you don't see him around. I recommended some of these people to be at the county level as advisor, because I'm in enough advisory level up there. You know, some of us are, and Derek has been doing good. Couple other people we have recommended and put there, because those people who care is who you need to represent you here in Lehigh. We're not looking for a penny. We're looking for what's good for Lehigh. And I might not talk well, but I really don't care about how I say some things. Because objection is sometimes what I can be a pain, but for the right reason. County commissioners tell me that sometimes, 1 or 2 of them, and then they retract, and then they come up and say, Dan, why you didn't bring it up? I want the public to hear it. That's why you go to these meetings. Anyway, I talk enough about stuff like that. Comments from anybody out there in reference to anything on your mind? And I know today we don't have a big audience.
So, yeah. So the comment I made to you about not understanding doesn't just relate to you. Pretty much, I've been in Alva, I've been in Buckingham, I've been in Bayshore with all of their fights and all of their torches and all of their pitchforks. And all of the organization prior to going to the meetings to talk to the county commissioners. And I heard Marcia's famous for, I walked up to her at a Buckingham meeting and I said, hey, how's it going? She started talking. She talked for 5 minutes at me. I didn't understand a word she was saying.
Marcia, I know Marcia.
Okay, but when all of a sudden she was on stage in Buckingham, like she was hitting them and it was making better sense. But like, you know, here's the thing. We've got to get to what is going on here that's higher than we're thinking, that is potentially actionable so that we can actually make a difference, right? And I'm excited about this because he's making a difference in the way he can, okay, as we said now, short-term goal, wicked awesome, right? But what's the big play? Okay, not from a gossipy sense. Oh, no, I'm on. Not from a gossipy sense, not gossipy, I'm not saying it in a negative way, but like not from the sense of, like the anger and the upsetness and the drama behind it. Instead, what is going on? What is actually happening? And can we nail it down and can we figure a strategy to combat it? That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get to there.
I've been asked by the Alva community why am I not advocating to get the high school moved from the Tuckahoe location to a location in Lehigh? Why am I not advocating for that? Because I'm advocating for a bunch of other stuff. So that's my reason for not doing it. And why is the rest of Lehigh not doing it? Well, because this is the rest of Lehigh.
Yeah, I know, but see, okay, so you define two problems. You're stretched thin. Okay, let's go with that. I need to understand the derrick structure. Okay, because if I get to understand the derrick structure, that is how you're structuring yourself within, which I'm starting to catch on. Here I am. I will back end that and I will augment that. And so it won't just be Derek being stretched thin, or James being stretched thin, or any of them, right? So, I mean, just a little bit of help, behind the scenes, I can do that. So, but as it relates to the school, yeah. We got one person who's kind of eloquently putting it out there, but why haven't we, where's the mechanism to actually move that forward? And what are the rocks that need to happen on the timeline? I don't know, but we should be looking for that.
Well, that brings us to our next point. Next month's meeting is the school board. Should be here to talk about those projects.
There you go.
And with that,
Yeah, that
comments?
that project up by Alva there, the schools that they're doing, because the school bought those properties already, and it can hold 3 different schools. It can hold a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school in that whole area. Separate buildings and far apart. Across from there, the Parks and Rec bought 45 acres. That's a lot of acreage. So schools like that and the roads that are being there, 80 is there, Bell Boulevard is going to be, Joel is being standardized for widening with roads. The kids on the east side will have, we'll have more schools for the kids here. So those are good. That's a good location for school,
Just the one in their
The
backyard.
one on
Everybody
Sunset.
else's backyard, but not
Yeah.
this.
The Sunrise one, it's a smaller plot of land. It's not as big. So those are projects that some of us have been on and have gone to school boards and every place else to say, buy up the land, take it. We're going to explode here in Lehigh. Infrastructure means a lot for people, so somebody might have an objection in reference to the school there, but I'm just telling you, it's a good project out there if they can get it. Having said that and giving my comments on that for now, the ARB board, you want to talk about the ARB, what we did? Or you
This
want me to
last month we
say-
had the Chipotle will be coming in next to where the Tires Plus is being built, currently next to Aspen Dental and Starbucks. We had the Kingston Street apartments that are being proposed next to Winn-Dixie on Joel Boulevard there, across from the Lehigh Resort area. 258 apartments, 8 buildings, 3 stories tall. And we had the Town Lake Storage Unit on Williams come back to us, and they redesigned that was the best
project.
cooperation with a developer I've ever seen. They
Very
presented us to us 2 months ago or whatever it was. We had many different issues that were wrong with it, and they came back to us and completely flipped their script and basically gave us everything that we asked for.
That's not very common, is it?
There was one other project that, they're changing the height and the one by Beth Stacy. That one is gonna be a lower style and one that can be even turned over into a childcare center, something of that.
And the last one was the Dante
That,
CPG commercial along State Road 82. They're not part of Lehigh right now, and they want to amend the maps and become part of Lehigh. Lamps had brought it up that it's wetlands, and Lamps said was actually interested in the property. So they actually tabled
for negotiations.
the entire thing basically in front of us, and they're gonna go back to the owners and developers and see if Lamps can buy the property, I guess.
Nice.
Would it be a good buy for the district? Okay. Yeah. Street lighting, we normally have these meetings every 3 months. You'll see they're working on street lights in the middle of every long block right now. So we should have at every junction on a long road, every end of a street light already or close to being completed in all of Lehigh. The ones at the end of the street, they might curtail some of those because some areas don't have, a continuous on the next street to have really that end street light. So the middle block, you should see that shortly. And if there's any area where you see, again, if you see there's no street light and you think we should have one, let us know.
Yeah, have you guys, do you know if they put one at Lee Boulevard and, where it's Joan? Lee Boulevard and Joan?
Every intersection should have a light. I'm advocating to get Lee Boulevard lit up like it should be, as an arterial road should be.
Yeah, that's what, like, there's.
But every
there's
intersection should
accidents
have
there
a light.
because it's the, drive-through for, not Hungry Howie's, but the other one.
Yeah, I know where you're talking.
The drive-through for, what the heck is that? It's a pizza place, pizza, whatever that is.
Oh, pizza.
I have to.
That
Sneakers.
intersection, that's getting, I don't know if it's getting a street light or it's having intersection improvements done soon.
Yeah, a lot, like,
So they're gonna put.
all kinds of accidents.
So I don't know if there's a street light coming to that intersection or
I
something.
think they're projecting to put street light here, I think, but I'm gonna remind myself of that. So we'll tag it in without the meeting that day.
Yeah, we gotta schedule we're scheduling our budget meeting soon.
For next year, for next year. We already have a schedule out for this year. Roads and grounds, if you already don't know, there's a website now whereby it's available to the public. I didn't bring the exact website, but you can see which roads are being resurfaced and potholes remain the same. You have to call them in. Do us a favor, even if it's yourself. Ask them for a confirmation number, a work number, a work order number. Now they are now they're able to give it. In the past, they hesitate to give that confirmation number, if you call in for potholes. But the resurfacing of roads, they're doing those now continuously. We have, I think it's $2.3 million.
Approving that
allocated
tomorrow.
for that, but this year.
Tomorrow what?
That's being approved tomorrow I posted it on my Facebook page, with all the different roads that are being resurfaced currently.
But you can get that information for your own benefit and to publicize it out there for our people.
That's what I did a couple of weeks ago. I live on a maybe 3-block long dead end street either side. And I called Lee Dobbs and she did give me a confirmation number. But my problem is they're bringing in cement trucks and other very heavy vehicles or equipment. And the road is just deteriorating and cracking about 3 feet from the edge. But she kept saying, when I was at a pothole, I said, no, it's not a pothole. She goes, well, we'll come out and fix that pretty quick. I said, no, what it is, it's breaking down the road toward the shoulder. And it's quite a ways. It's probably 200-300 feet where those cement trucks drive on the side, and just like I said, it's just breaking it down. But, you know, there's nothing they can do about it until they get done building on my street, and then it's like, well, come back and resurface it, I guess. Because that was resurfaced. I called in about 5 years ago, and they said, well, you know, we'll put you on the list, which I did. Stanley, Hudson,
That's the
and
thing.
Genoa.
They can resurface it all you want, but our roads are not made to handle these dump
big-
trucks that are parking on our residential streets. They don't have the sub base under the road to hold that. So you can resurface it all you want, it's still gonna keep happening if you keep having
By
problems.
the way, they have a new director for that department.
They did come out, and like I said, they did resurface the roads years ago, but now they're just still breaking them down like crazy. So,
So for sidewalks, but not sidewalks, for roads and grounds, you know, I just want to throw that in. Any other? Next month's meeting is the school board. I wish we can have more people come, like tonight's meeting, it's like, you know, we can get this information ourselves, you know, but, I wish other people come out and get these things, and it's publicized, but I don't know how we can get people, you know, and they're the ones who have the questions most. So,
I hear a lot of bitching and complaining, and by the time the meeting, they're like, oh, I don't want to go. No reason to go. It's like, yeah, come to the meeting. What's your opinion on what your problem is or what you'd like to have solved? But everybody's so busy.
Can't do nothing about it if I don't know about it.
all right, so, any other comments, questions? No, anything else? All right,
Motion to adjourn?
second? All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you all very much, you know. Thank you all very much for coming over. Let's, you know, the ladies